No text means only move in silence. Bum bum be dum bum bay. Make sure this is in the right place. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Fucking beautiful, baby. Let's move this right there. Beautiful. We got this all figured out now. I think I finally got the overlay. I think I got the whole setup the way I want it. Let me just check my phone, make sure it is the way it is, the way I currently want it. Guys, I took the fucking... I fell asleep at like 9 o'clock. And not even 9 o'clock, earlier than that. Right around the end of the Yankee Red Sox game, I woke up. Here I am. I am just not even remotely tired right now. It's not a good thing. It's not good at all. Oh, fuck. Dude. Oh, no. I hope... Dude. I'm so mad at myself right now. Oh. Oh my god, I am so disappointed in myself right now. I made a massive, massive blunder tonight, and I'm not happy about it. I'm commenting on it right now. Dude, I'm so upset that I fucking missed an entire Joe Waters stream tonight. Ah, god damn it. I was so looking forward to being over there. I know it was a big day for him today. Fuck, man. That's upsetting. But listen, I'll make it up to him when he gets once he starts getting super chats and shit. I'll send him something that makes up for it. That sucks, dude. I'm not happy about that. Fuck, man. I like Joe Waters. I'm not happy about that. I'm not happy that I missed his entire fucking stream, dude. God damn, what is wrong with me? What kind of fucking friend am I? That damn, dude. That's painful to me. That's one of those. That one's gonna hurt. That one is 100%. I am going to feel like shit about that for a long time. Not a long time, but until I just reached out to him and told him what happened. Dude, I passed out earlier. It was so bad. Hold on, I got a warning message here. Let's see what's going on. Huh. Oh, cool. Wait, I can make overlays? This is kind of sick. Anyway. You know, I was out like a fucking light before, and so far I've only gotten 2 chats, and it's both from Botrix. So, I don't know if I've been shadow banned on here or what, but we're here. We're here live. We're here later than normal. We are here. You know, I figured I would give you guys the chance to put you guys to sleep. I am the most boring streamer on here. I'm one of the most boring fucking people you ever meet in your entire life. It's just been been a weird couple days. I don't know what's going on with me, man. You know, I feel like I've just been super fucking lethargic these last couple days, and it's not... Thank you for streaming. I couldn't sleep. Dude, Joe, I was literally just talking about you a second ago, man. I was just talking about how I saw that you, No, dude. None taken whatsoever. This is what the stream's all about. This is supposed to be for people to fall asleep. Dude, Joe, just like the Jets boring? Thanks, man. Appreciate that. That really makes me feel a lot better. Dude, Joe, I was just saying how, upset I was that I missed your entire stream. I'm really not happy about that. That was, that really fucked me up. I just looked. I was like, shit. I saw the notification. I literally... Dude, I fell asleep at the beginning of the Dodger game. I had the best day, and then had friends let me down right after flight. Damn, bro. Someone donated $1,000. I don't think somebody donated $1,000. If somebody donated $1,000, I didn't get that. You're all good, man. Dude, Joe, I'm fucking... But what happened with your friends, man? What's going on? I mean, if you want to talk about it. Also, dude, Joe, I didn't even realize. I looked back in the email you sent me, because I was going to email you congratulating you on this thing. I didn't even realize you sent me your number. I'm sorry that I never texted you, dude. I'll send you... I'll text you. I don't know. It didn't pop up on my feed. If somebody sent me $1,000, I certainly didn't fucking get it. MMA, what's up? But, dude, I literally slept through the entire fucking Dodger Reds game. I woke up and I'm like, dude, I was like, what the fuck happened to me? Like, I was laying down on the couch. Yeah, but Joe, I'm sorry about that, man. I'm gonna, I'll tell you, I'll wait till tomorrow so it doesn't like wake you up because I'm gonna stream for now. But I'll text you. 5-year apprenticeship finally done. Good for you, man. That's a big thing. And now you're a journeyman. That's I don't know the exact terms of what a journeyman would be, but I know that when you get appointed to journeyman, when you make the jump to journeyman, I know it's a big thing. So I'm happy for you, man. Congratulations. That's big. Good. I'm really happy for you. But all right, Felich, you had me all fucked up there. I was like, man, dude, somebody sent me $1,000 and I can't even see who it is. Fuck, man. But dude, I'm wide awake. I'm so bad. Like, I woke up about an hour ago. I walked down the street to get I drink like a gallon of water every day. I'm a big gallon of water guy, but and I usually keep Gatorades in my fridge, Gatorade Zeros. I ran out, so I had to fucking go get one. Bro, what's your dream? What's my dream, Felich? Honestly, my dream is to be able to do something like this full time. Do something in terms of like content creation where I can talk to you guys, have a show. Like, I want this to become something that it's like a show where I can come on here and just shoot the shit with you guys every day. I know how unrealistic that is, and I'm not banking on it. But, I enjoy nothing more than coming on here, meeting people. I've met a lot of great people on here. I've met a bunch of people that, I consider... Again, I have friends in the real world. I'm not some fucking guy who doesn't have any friends. But, coming on here, talking to you guys, and, having these streams really gives me a sense of community outside of my day-to-day life. So, it's nice. If I could do this at some sort of full-time level, I've already been partnered, which is unbelievable. I can't believe that. Hit that y'all, great community here. Appreciate you, Joe. And listen, if you haven't ever watched a Joe Waters stream, do yourself a favor. I'm rewatching it when I go to bed. Because I'm gonna be staying up anyway, and Joe Waters has never put me to sleep a day in my life. Hold on, wait a minute. That sounded really whatever. I gotta rewatch Joe Waters' vlog after this so I can catch up on everything I missed. Whatever whiskey he was drinking tonight, I apologize again, Joe. I'm really upset about that. I knew you were gonna stream tonight, and I was pretty much setting up my whole. I was kind of setting up my whole night for it. I just laid down on the couch and gone. I woke up I was like, holy shit. I'm living in the Philippines because I'm Filipino. Nice. That's nice, Felich. So Felich, let me ask you something. What's your dream? And if I'm saying that wrong, I apologize. Alf, what's going on, man? How are we doing? Just fucking got up from I shouldn't even call it a nap. I should have just went back to bed. But I literally got up. There's a gas station down the road from me that's 24/7. I was like, what time, 1:30 in the morning would be perfect to go get a fucking drink? I just ran out of Gatorades. I gotta go tomorrow. I'm gonna go up to, Aldi is like a fucking cheat code. You want to talk about Costco being really good for shit? Aldi, they sell the big giant Gatorade Zeros, and it's it's like $1.20 a Gatorade. I buy like 40 of them every time I go. It's fucking, and I buy all my food there pretty much. I have a Costco membership, but I really don't use it as much anymore. I should probably just cancel it at this point. Because Aldi pretty much has everything I need. I got everything I need to cook and everything. It's perfect. I get all my food. Everything I get at Aldi. And that's not an ad. And also, if there's any other grocery chain out there that would want to sponsor me, I will happily talk bad about whatever I just said about Aldi. I once managed for Aldi. I have stories. Anything good? Joe, let me ask you something. Am I making a mistake shopping at Aldi? Is this a mistake, or is that just stories from the job that like war stories are you talking about? When we have a talk about JSN being a top 5 wide receiver, I don't think it's crazy, Alf. I mean, I don't know why anybody's not saying it yet. Oh, by the way, the sunglasses, I know. I don't know. I was just feeling them tonight. I was feeling a little bit fucking crazy tonight. I'm sure I'll take them off at some point. Franco Vlad, how are we, man? Welcome to the stream, bud. Welcome aboard. This might be the first time I've ever seen Franco Vlad here. If not, I apologize. It's hard to remember everybody's name. It's hard to remember everybody that comes in. Mostly because I'm an idiot. Tu sabes hablar español? Un poco, Franco. Un poco español. Yo estudio español en la escuela. That's about all I got for you. Aldi is legit. I just don't like that they made me destroy perfectly good food to avoid dumpster divers. Their food and prices are nice, dude. It's really insane, dude. When they opened they opened one right down the road for me, and like the first time I went in there, I couldn't believe how cheap everything was. It really became one of those things where I went in and I was just like a kid in the candy store. You know, when you get old, like I am, it gets to the point where it's like, holy shit, like, you know, things like, hold on, just gotta shut everything down. Things like, what do you call it? Things like grocery shopping and getting cheap deals on groceries is like fucking the greatest thing of all time. So that's what my life has become. That's where I'm at now. Okay, I see, Franco. I don't know what that is. Wait, sabes decir? I don't even know. I don't know what you said. I'm sorry. I speak very poco, meaning that every time he runs a route, the offense gains on average 4 yards. See, the impact overall for a guy like him, Enye. Yeah, I know like the letter, but do I know how to like? Did he just say sabes decir? Let me think. I see. But yeah, no, listen, JSN is like him in that Seattle offense. I think in terms of like, you know, they added a legitimate quarterback. You know, he's a guy who's very talented. I think he's taken a major step forward. And, you know, people aren't talking enough about Jackson Smith. I'm not going to say that last name out loud because God forbid someday, like, I end up becoming famous and, you know, somebody goes, hey, what did you say here? It takes the 2-second clip of me trying to say the second part of his last name. A lot can go on there. Okay, then I'll speak English so you're more comfortable, okay? No, Franco, it's not about me being comfortable. If you want to speak a little bit of Spanish, I don't mind it. Like, if you want to go for it. I don't understand Spanish fully. Like, I'm not bilingual by any means. You ever see, anybody ever watch WWE back in the day? That's one of my favorite things Triple H ever said. I don't know if anybody ever saw that where he goes, they asked him if he was bilingual. He's like, he was on the call. He's like, there's a lot of things I am, but lingual's not one of them. And then he like thought about it for a second. He's like, wait, I don't think I was supposed to say that. Franco, he's here to learn. I just understand. Yeah, no, I see. Oh, I see. I get what you're saying. I think the big thing is we have an actually capable offensive coordinator. Do you think that's more to it? Because again, I'm not big on like the coaches. I don't really know a ton about what goes on in the coaching carousel, especially when it comes to coordinators. So you know more than I do with that, Alf. If that's the case, then that makes a lot of sense. They must be like, you know, they must be tapping into his potential a lot more than whoever the previous regime was. Oh, it's Clint Kubiak? I didn't even know that. Wait, I think the Kubiak family is unbelievable. And Clint Kubiak is just as good as his dad is. No, like, I'll tell you what, that was always the thing I said about Gary Kubiak was like, you know, he always had a plan for everything and he was very good at picking apart certain things. Entonces yo soy como un prueba. I think you just said, fuck, I really wish I knew it because I feel like I know a lot of those words, Franco. I'm not happy about this. I should know what you just said to me. I think you said, did you say like, could you ask me a question? Is that what you said? Or am I wrong? He's testing. Oh, entonces yo soy. Okay, I am a. I have no idea. Goated, what's up, man? We run more 12 to 20 and 21 personnel than anyone else, and we force defenses to go into base. See, you know, when you have a coordinator that's like basically, I've always said offensive coordinators are like the closest job on the planet to being like an army general. And you need somebody that like is willing to attack like that. You know what I mean? It's like there is no better job on the planet that gives you the same sort of, you know, without actually going to war than being an offensive coordinator. And you need somebody like that that can pick apart a defense, that can make your defense work. And we force the defenses into base. We can send the wide receivers over the top. Anything like that, you know, like coordinators like that can do that, that can pick apart defenses is fantastic. Did you see the Bengals play where 4 guys on the offensive line were blocking the one guy and the other 2? Yeah. Oh, I saw it. Goated. Like, there was a bunch of things. I kind of watched a little bit of what went on. You know, there was a lot of A lot of highlights going around the internet of like some of the shit that went on with the Bengals this week. You know, the Bengals have been the butt of every joke, but yes, I did see that. He runs every route as well as anybody. Dude, I'm telling you, Alf, I'm not even that big of a football guy. Like, you know more football than I do. I would never even try to compare myself to you in terms of like knowing the game of football. Every time I watch him run a route, it's the best I've seen the route run, and it's crazy. I really think the Bengals should have fired Zach Taylor. I'm surprised he's even still there. You know, it felt like he completely punted that game against the Broncos, and I'm with you. I think Zach Taylor, you know, he got this like false narrative that he's some evil genius when really the evil genius in him was just getting lucky and getting fucking Joe Burrow. I don't know English very well, but I understand you a little. It's a big step for me. Thanks. Of course, Franco, of course. And anything I can do to help, man, I appreciate you. I appreciate you even stopping by. I appreciate you hanging out, man. This is awesome. Thank you, brother. Zach Taylor does nothing. Nothing. No. Like, it's literally his whole, like, fucking aura and everything about him was because he accidentally stumbled upon Joe Burrow, who's a once-in-a-lifetime quarterback. Imagine if the Bengals fired Taylor last offseason and hired Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson, in a heartbeat, would have been the coach of the Cincinnati Bengals. There would have been no doubt in my mind. You know, Ben Johnson had really carte blanche on what job he wanted, and I think he made the right decision, for sure. I think, like, the best job available, you know, with the young quarterback, with a guy who I felt like he could work well with, was the Bears. He absolutely would have ended up being in Cincinnati. Ben Johnson overrated, rather have Vrabel. I don't agree with that at all. I think Ben Johnson, the coach, maybe isn't the coach that Mike. Okay, let me back up on that because I think you have a point there in a way. Go ahead. I didn't mean to jump on that right away. I think Mike Vrabel as a coach is definitely a better, like, you know, figure running the organization, running the game, the day-to-day operations, because I think Ben Johnson has had some growing pains with being in charge of everything. In terms of X's and O's, I still think Ben Johnson is one of the best X's and O's guys on the planet. I already subscribed. I like you now. Appreciate that, Franco. Plain and simple, all that talent with a shit franchise. Dude, the Bengals are one of those franchises that just suck the life out of guys. You know, you see Boomer Esiason. He won an MVP, but still, like, he was a guy who got the life sucked out of him for his entire career. Maryland guy, Joe Waters. Well, actually, a connection there, Joe. Long Island guy to Maryland. Look at us. See my comment before? Joe Burrow is the best quarterback in the league and is showing because Jake Brown. Oh, yeah. Yeah, go ahead. I did read that. I just didn't react to it. I'm sorry. Joe Burrow, absolutely. If he was anywhere else, think about something. If you took Joe Burrow and put him on the San Francisco 49ers, I don't think the San Francisco 49ers lose a single game. Genuinely. I think the 49ers go undefeated if Joe Burrow is the quarterback of the 49ers. The Lions have played one legit defense and they got slapped around. No, I agree. I think it's a little early to talk about that. Like, you know, obviously the Ravens defense isn't very good. The Lions got beat up by the Packers, but I think a lot of teams are going to get beat up by the Packers. I mean, although the Cowboys really didn't have much of a problem. We'll see. Jay Cutler was as good as Tom Brady, but was stuck on the Bears. Live today, I think there's a lot of guys you could say that with. The problem with Tom Brady, though, you know, Tom Brady did end up going to Tampa and winning a Super Bowl too. So I think that kind of takes away the narrative that he was any sort of system quarterback. But there were plenty of quarterbacks that I think were more talented than Brady. But Brady just cerebrally and all the things he did, like on the field, like the X's and O's and his mind allowed Tom Brady to be as good as he was. You put any quarterback other than Burrow, Lamar, Allen on this RES team, we were going 0-17. I agree. The Browns' defense is elite, but their offense had like 6 3-and-outs, and they were gassed. Yeah, it's tough to be an elite defense when you're out there all the time. Hoy lo malo de el español es una palabras idioma. Shit. Can you please say my name? It's Ben. Ben is broke. What's up, man? What's up, Ben is broke? What's up, man? Of course, I could say your name anytime. Yo, if you guys are waving to me in the chat, that's what I need to pull up. I apologize. Brady could diagnose the defense quicker than anyone. I think him and Peyton Manning are the two smartest quarterbacks to ever play the game of football. I actually tried to bait you, bro, and you got a solid rebuttal. Jay Cutler is nowhere near as good as Brady. See, I was going to say, there were guys who were as talented as Tom Brady, but I think he did a lot of things. But listen, man, I'm here to debate all day live today. We could talk about that any day of the week. I hate Tom Brady. Look at this. Look at this thing on my head. There is nobody on planet Earth that ruined my childhood more than Tom Brady. Nobody. Ben, how you doing, man? I'm sorry if again if you guys wave to me in the chat, I don't see it because it doesn't pop up on my Streamlabs, so I apologize. Um, but hey, bad thing about Spanish is some words in the language can mean anything like being drunk, or being in a bad mood. Yeah, Franco, it's the same thing with English, dude. English is like a fucking crapshoot. There's like one word can mean like three different things just by the way you say it. It's hard. Or English is tough. Drew Brees was better than Brady their whole careers. Brady had more success though. I agree. I think same thing with what like I said before with Drew Brees and Tom Brady. I think Tom Brady, the X's and O's, the cerebral guy, was a better quarterback, but Drew Brees was as talented as anybody in the day. Like Skip Bayless said, Tim Tebow was better than Tom Brady. Yeah, Skip Bayless was a fucking jackass. I'm with you on that, Joe. Brady could diagnose. Yeah. Sup, I'm 10. Hell yeah, man. What are you still doing up? Orientes or after. Hold on, I kind of know that. All right. See, you got me confused there, Frank. I'm gonna try to dissect as much as I can when you speak Spanish to me, but I'm not very good with it. Breeze was robbed. Wait, hold on. Skip Bayless is like Joe Buck, never played any decent level, but has a voice. I agree. Look, Skip Bayless was somebody that never did anything. The same with Stephen A. Smith, where these guys are so critical of these professional athletes. Which, listen, anybody can be. You can sit up there and do it, but like, you know, sometimes it's just like you realize why somebody didn't play. Like, I don't know. I guess I kind of do the same thing. Who the fuck am I to judge, right? Who am I? Who am I to judge? I do the same shit. I sat here and told you guys, like, how I think... I don't remember. I don't know. I've said so many fucking things here that, like, who am I to judge? Who am I to sit here and be like, you know, you shouldn't have done that? I'm in the same boat. The fucking highest level of basketball I ever played is JV. Well, I played... I was on the varsity team a couple times, but never really played at a high level. I never really played much. Fuck Stephen A. and Skip, just loudmouths who know nothing, say the most outrageous stuff. Well, that's the thing. It's gotten to the point, Goated, where these guys like Stephen A., these guys like Skip Bayless, you know, they really do just go up there and say things so that they get clicks. It's all about clicks nowadays. And I think Skip Bayless started that before anybody, where, like, you know, he would before his show, he would tweet out, like, something stupid like, you know, oh, like, did Kevin Durant forget how to score live on Undisputed? Like, shut the fuck up, dude. No. What MVPs do you think Breeze was robbed of? That's a good question. I saw it. He said 5 or so MVPs. I'm not sure what years you're talking about. No, but Skip, like, looks like he lost at air hockey also. No athleticism. Yeah, no, I agree. I think, listen, at least with Stephen A. Smith, I think he's willing to, like, I feel like he's had some things where I'm like, all right, he's at least, like, staying at least on the topic once in a while. You know what I mean? I don't know. I think Stephen A. Smith's got a little bit better head on him. Well, we'll see each other again in the future. I have to go now. I'm going to sleep later, bro. Franco, have a good night. It's fine if you never played, but you could tell Stephen A. and Skip don't give a shit about yeah. Oh, everything's like feel with them. I'm with you, Goated. They never say anything like with substance. There's no substance with either one of those guys. They say things, and it doesn't have any sort of... you know, there's really, like I said, substance would be the word. There's no substance to anything they say, which is, he didn't get robbed by LT. LT had a crazy year. Skip's wife cheats with Gardner-looking motherfuckers. LT had like 30 rushing touchdowns. I mean, that year, LT had so many touchdowns that year. But I don't know. Listen, I'd have to look back on the numbers because I'm not sure. I can't give you a definite on that, Goated. I can't sit here and tell you, like, oh, for sure, like, he definitely got robbed of those MVPs because, like, I'd be lying to you if I sat here and said I for sure am with you on that. I'll have to do some research and check for myself later. Something's going on here. Oh. My stream's not lagging for anybody, right? Yo, did I just say magging? What the fuck is wrong with me? Derek, what's up, man? How are we? Dude, I took a fat fucking... I slept like a rock before. I was out cold for a couple hours. And then I woke up, I'm like, fuck it. I'm going to stream and put everybody to bed because I'm the most boring man in America. Dude, Derek, I slept like a fucking baby before. I was watching the Dodger game and I fell asleep and I woke up. I'm like, all right, now I'm not tired. Went for a walk, which is crazy at fucking 1 o'clock in the morning. I walked to get a Gatorade because I ran out, and I'm back. Brees threw 18 less touchdowns than Mahomes in 2018 and over 1,000 less yards. Out of exactly the MVP award should be most consistent player in 2025. Drew Brees is 100% winning it. Wait. Team wins is bullshit. LMAO. Rodgers had 1,000 times more help. Well, yeah, running backs just don't win anymore. Like, yeah, running backs are not going to win the award. Because if that was the case, Saquon Barkley would have won it a year ago. You awake when you make people fall asleep. Exactly. That's the thing. I'm awake. Everybody else falls asleep when they put me on. So, that's the way it goes around here. The MVP award not being consistent doesn't disqualify LT rushing 30 touchdowns. I'm with you. Dude, I'll tell you, like, you guys, like, Alf, Goated, you guys are some of the most, like, knowledgeable sports fans I know. But, yeah, no, Derek, I wish I would have went live earlier. I'm going to do tomorrow, I'm definitely going to stream, same thing. I'm going to probably stream around, like, 7, 8 o'clock during the playoff games just to, like, you know, hang out and chill. But still, I like this setup a lot better. I like that I can speak into a microphone without, like, having to hold my phone up or anything. Hold on. Let's see. I'm just checking everything. You were there then. We were both younger, but Brees was deserving that year, the way he dragged the Saints team back to relevancy. Dodgers versus Phillies will go 5 games. You think? You know what I'll say about that series? I think it's a bad matchup for... It's more so a bad matchup for the Phillies, I think. You know, like, they have great starting pitching, but I just don't know if that Philly bullpen is going to be able to handle, like, the Dodgers are fucking relentless. And they're a team, the Dodgers are one of those teams, they're inevitable. The Dodgers are always inevitable. I think it's going to be a good series. I could see it going 5. I just think at some point, the Dodgers outlast the Phillies, kind of beat them up, you know, force them to use their bullpen a little bit more than they want to. And if the worst call of all time didn't happen, he would have won the Super Bowl. Oh, dude, the year... Goated. Did I ever tell you that story? Did I ever tell you guys that story? I think I have about that game. The Rams-Saints game. Let me read what Goated said, and then I'll go to it. Roki Sasaki instead of Tanner Scott. The league is fucking finished back-to-back, baby. I mean, I think making Roki Sasaki and put him in the bullpen was a great move to get his confidence back, and then he'll be a starter again next year. I think it's crazy. Brees dragging a shit team to relevancy doesn't make up for 1,000 yards and 12 touchdowns that Mahomes had on him that year to me. I'm with you on that, Alf. I think you got to go statistically for the most part. You know, I think a lot of these, like, background things kind of don't mean as much. Dodgers bullpen isn't all great either, and they are now going against a stronger team than the Reds, who were an easy matchup. You're not wrong. No, for sure the Dodgers bullpen isn't anything to write home about right now. Sasaki gunning. And yes, it does. No, Goated. I think when it comes in terms of two teams that are very good, like, I don't think you could say, like, oh, you know, the Saints weren't relevant, so all of a sudden they're relevant. 18, not 12. I just can't read. Lamar put up much better stats than Allen last year. It's more than that. I think Lamar Jackson should have been the MVP last year. You know, I'm not going to use last year to look at that and go, oh, well, here's why Drew Brees should have won the award. Like, Lamar Jackson should have won the award last year. You know, I think that's a bad example. I think that's like saying, oh, well, you know, the committee fucked up last year. They should have fucked up and gave it to Drew Brees. Like, I don't think that's how that works. I don't think Josh Allen should not have won the MVP a year ago. Somehow they fucked up 2 years in a row. Who should win the MVP? Like, it could have been Saquon Barkley. I think if they gave it to Saquon Barkley before Josh Allen, I think it would have made sense. But Josh Allen threw less touchdown passes last year than Aaron Rodgers. Like, I don't know. I don't think Josh Allen was a better quarterback last year than Lamar Jackson. But that's to teach their own thing. I just took a DNA test. Turns out. All right. SGA, what's up, man? How are we? I'm not going to be on here too long. I do want to get some sleep at some point, but I woke up buzzing, dude. I was like, holy shit. By the time I woke up, so I missed a lot of the Dodger Reds game. I woke up right when Roki Sasaki was coming into the game, and I just watched the last inning. I was like, "Fuck, man." I really was mad at myself. I think Dak could reasonably been the 2023 MVP. I think that's fair. Look at Breeze's completion percentage compared to Mahomes that year. Just because he didn't rely on Tyreek Hill yards after the catch and he commanded a whole offense doesn't mean he was worse. He was 1,000% better than Mahomes that year. Again, the statistics go to, like, you could say whatever you want. You could try to skew it however you want. Statistically, Patrick Mahomes was a better quarterback. 2023 season was garbage in general. I think when you have to start skewing stats like that to make your point, I don't think you have a point to make. That's like, I think it's hard. If Patrick Mahomes was a better quarterback statistically, Breeze damn near completed 10% better. That's insane. That is crazy. I will give you that. But like, I don't think that makes him a better MVP candidate. No, statistically, Breeze was better than Mahomes. Mahomes had more volume. I mean, more volume in what? Yards? Touchdowns? What, or like more throws, are you saying? Because then that can go to the case of like, hey, the Chiefs had to throw the ball more often. Like, the Chiefs didn't have an elite running back. Like, there's so many things you can go with there. I think it's a hard debate. I think Mahomes should have got it. Mahomes just threw the ball more. He was miles less efficient and it impacted team winning way less than Breeze. I think that's a tough. I think the team impacting is kind of a tough thing to. Hold on, go to. Let me ask you something. So Mahomes threw the ball more, but impacted his team less. How is that possible? How does that add up? Like 2018 Kareem Hunt was just as good as Kamara. Come on. No, he wasn't. Kareem Hunt was solid. Kareem Hunt was good. He wasn't on the level of Alvin Kamara. No. That now I feel like you're just grasping at straws. Like, Alvin Kamara was like a top 1 running back in the league that year. I say 1 because he was the best running. He was like, for like 3 or 4 years, he was the best running back in the league. Because Mahomes had way more help, like way more. But still, Mahomes, you're saying Mahomes threw the ball more, Breeze threw it less, and had more impact on his team winning. How does that add up? He was throwing more because he had prime Kelsey and prime Tyreek. Well, I mean, again, now you can't fault a guy for having guys around him. That's not his fault. I think that's it's a tough argument to make. Oh, God. I believe it's 2:45 in the morning. I'm still fucking here. I just had to look at my phone and like make sure that was real, that it's this late. It is. I just took a DNA test. Turns out. I don't know why I have that song stuck in my head now. Fucking A. I must have heard it somewhere. Maybe I heard it in the gas station. You can't fault him, but you have to realize the reason the Chiefs were winning was because of the stacked offense. The reason the Saints were winning is because Breeze went ballistic. Fair, but like, goated. Nothing statistically would point to Drew Brees over Patrick Mahomes. Like trying to make the argument by saying, oh well, Drew Brees, like, he had a better impact when you literally said Patrick Mahomes threw the ball more. Like, I think that just can't add up. And then on top of it, like, just when statistically, Drew Brees was more efficient because he had a lowest average depth of target in football. See, there's the thing. Like, I didn't know that. I was actually trying to look that up, and I couldn't get to it. But if that's the case, yes. If Drew Brees threw the ball for less, like, through, like, dump-off passes and screens and stuff, yeah, that'll make him more efficient. But it is what it is. I respect your argument, Goated, but I just think, like, Mahomes had the better statistical year. Like, more than 50% of Hill's yards were yards after the catch. It's insane. That's a whole world's difference. Well, I mean, when you throw the ball 50 yards down the field and then Tyreek Hill runs the other 45. Yeah, listen, I think Alf's making good points here. I think Go ahead. I respect the argument. I see what you mean. Like, in terms of Drew Brees, really, the Saints were unbelievable that year. And the Saints probably should have won the Super Bowl that year. And let me go back to that story. I don't know if I ever told you guys about that bad call. So that bet, I think I've talked about how, like, there's one bet I've ever made where I really had to have a talk with myself after, where I was like, you know, I can't do that ever again. I made one bet one time where I was like, this was too much. I should have never just done what I did. And it really made me take a step back betting on sports, right? And it was that I bet on that game. I took the Saints to win that football game. I bet my entire fucking paycheck. Entire paycheck. I got paid at work. I bet my whole paycheck on it. Right? An entire fucking paycheck. I fucking bet the whole paycheck on the Saints. You have no idea how fucking angry I was when they did not call that pass interference. It was fucking crazy. Like, I literally was like, I was at the bar with my friends. We all did the same thing. We all bet on the Saints. We're like, there's no way this Rams team is beating the Saints. We all said the same thing. I fucking it was a good chunk of fucking change. Now, I'm not like financially, I wasn't financially in trouble. I'm still not in financial trouble anymore. Anymore. I never was. So, like, it wasn't like one of those things where I couldn't pay for anything. But still, it was just a stupid fucking thing to do. And I was like, you know what? I'm doubling my fucking paycheck this week. Didn't work out. Well, I didn't double it because they were favored, but you know what I mean. If you want to bring up A-Dot, Mahomes has had some of the lowest in the league the last few years. When's the last time Mahomes won an MVP? I don't even know. That's a great question. I'm not even sure. When is the last time Mahomes won an MVP? Mahomes a huge yards after catch merchant that whole year. Check the advanced stats. 2022. Really? I guess 2022 was a little while ago, right? That wasn't like yesterday at this point. Sorry. I was just looking at something. No year was Brees better than Mahomes to win the MVP. I'm with you on that. Well, Drew Brees didn't lead the league in passing yards or touchdowns when his A-dot was that low. I'm kind of trying to let you guys debate this because, like, you guys know more of the advanced stats than I do. I just think, like, you know, when a quarterback is better statistically than the other one, I feel like it should be a done deal. But of course, we've had years where it wasn't. Where, like, you know, a guy like Josh Allen wins the award last year because we were just like, hey, you know, Josh Allen needs an MVP after he got screwed over for it the year before. Because we're in the business of, you know, making up for things we mistook. But he led the league in QBR and completion percentage, but apparently that doesn't matter when it's Brees, but if it's Mahomes, it does. Who did? Brees led the league that year? I mean, that's a good stat. That's a good stat to run with. But still, like, I think, like, I don't know. I feel like the yards and the touchdowns are a bigger deal. I wouldn't say Drew Brees got robbed, per se. I think maybe he had a better case. Like maybe he had a solid case to be an MVP. Of course, he led the league in completion percentage with that low A-dot. Yeah. See? I think you guys are both making good points right now. It was a one-man race in 2022. Yeah, who else was even in the conversation in 2022? I don't even know. Let me turn this microphone. I want to make sure. Yep, we're good. We're all good here. But so what was I going to say? Mahomes had 2,600 yards after the catch in 2018. Brees had 1,500. It's fucking insane. But hold on. I mean, Patrick Mahomes also threw 50 touchdowns that year. I don't know. It's hard. Yeah, I mean, Roethlisberger, I didn't even realize Roethlisberger had threw for more yards. I didn't realize Roethlisberger had that big of a year, but I still think, Patrick Mahomes' 50 touchdowns is fucking crazy. Hurts was number 2 and Allen was number 3 in 2022, but none of them were close in the votes. Anyway, Aaron Judge is winning the AL MVP. I'm sure. Look, I think Cal Raleigh winning the MVP would be a great story. Don't get me wrong. I think Cal Raleigh's an awesome player. I think Cal Raleigh would be fucking cool for him to get the MVP. Aaron Judge just won a batting title and hit 50 home runs. I think people are overlooking how fucking crazy that is in today's day and age. Mahomes was a huge yards after catch. Both him and Ben were that year. 45% of your yards being yards after catch is average for the top tier quarterbacks. Yeah, but then, the difference in touchdown passes being like, what? It's like an 18 touchdown difference? And he threw for more yards? I don't even think it's... I don't think it's even... I mean, think about it, though. 45% of your yards being yards after the catch for the top tier of quarterbacks. I mean, do you expect quarterbacks like to just drop back and find a guy who's going to get tackled right away? It's a good job reading the defense if you could throw to a guy who's going to get yards after. I get it, 45%'s a lot, but still, what do you expect these guys to throw passes and the guys just get tackled right away? It's part of reading a defense is throwing a ball that hey, maybe a guy gets an extra 10 yards. That's just the way offenses work. I feel like you're kind of discrediting part of being a quarterback. Finding open guys that have space to work with, too. And maybe that's a product of those guys being good. I get it. So think about this flight. Breeze has more justified yards, better QBR, and more 10%. Mahomes just has more TDs. I mean, you just... Hold on. I mean, here's the problem. You're moving the goalposts and trying to, create these false stats that not false stats. They're all real stats. But when you have to dig that deep, when you have to actually dive into all these analytical things that you're diving into to try to make a case for a guy, it's probably not a very good case. Lamar and Allen both had 44% of their passing yards from yards after catch in the past 2 seasons. There you go. I can go back and look at more averages. 45% is typical. Anyone who thinks if Judge wins MVP makes it rigged is insane. I've seen people saying Cal would be robbed and it would be rigged. I think if Cal Raleigh won it, Aaron Judge would be the one getting robbed. That's just me. I love the season Cal Raleigh had. I think it's very important being a catcher. I understand all that. It's definitely a more valuable position. But Aaron Judge was winning a batting title and hitting 50 home runs. It's impossible. All I'm talking about compared to Breeze is matters overall. What I'm trying to prove is that Tyreek Hill's yards after catch Mahomes stats by a large margin. I mean, again, I don't think you can punish Patrick Mahomes because he had Tyreek Hill. I don't think that's a fair estimate at all, Goated. I think you're trying to make your point by trying to find all these analytical flaws in Patrick Mahomes when I don't know, was he supposed to throw to guys that are going to get tackled right away? I don't get it. I don't think it's... I'm in agreement with Alf here. Alf. I just call him Out. I think I agree with Alf here. I'm not punishing him. You just have to realize the numbers are inflated. Or you're digging too deep. I think you're just digging way too deep into this, Coded. Because everyone else has around 45% compared to Breeze, which aren't. I mean, fair. Listen, I get it. Drew Brees didn't throw a lot of balls that had yards after catch. Fair. I understand that. Which is impressive, sure. But... that's the problem. Is if you have to dissect the numbers that much to make an argument, I don't think you have that much of an argument. It's kind of like I have the same argument with people that they try to discredit LeBron for shit, where it's LeBron James, LeBron James is this in the fourth quarter of game 4s, and it's why does the stat have to be that fucking specific for you to make your point? It's not about the average, it's comparing the two. But Goated, then the touchdown numbers are super inflated. I think the touchdown numbers are more insane than the yards after catch thing you're talking about. Brees having less yards after catch doesn't make him the MVP. It's not something that I've ever heard brought up in an argument, and I think it's something that it's kind of a reach, Goated, to try to make your point. I think you've put together some evidence. I think I understand your point of like he brought the Saints back and he made the Saints relevant, but that's about the only thing he had over Patrick Mahomes. Oh, and the QBR thing is a good point too. He has more air yards and has insanely better completion percentage and better QBR. Okay, Patrick Mahomes threw for more yards, threw for 50 touchdowns. I think it's a done, close the book right away. 50 touchdowns, way more yards. I don't even know why we're talking any deeper than that. Close the book. I'm voting Patrick Mahomes. Goodbye. Touchdowns are the least important of the... Hold on a minute. Let me look at one other thing. Touchdowns are the least important of the 5 major quarterback stats. I mean, well, Goated, I see, that's another thing. Now you're going back to Kamara. You're saying, oh my God, he had all this help. He had all this help. You know, Drew Brees had that help of Kamara getting him down the field all the time. You know, he had an elite running back. Hold on. I want to look at one other stat from that year. I was just looking at something. Mahomes only threw for more yards because of yards after catch. Again, that's a quarterback reading the defense. I don't think that's a problem. What were you saying, Derek? I honestly agreed Judge would be robbed because nothing says Cal should win, even off his historic season. I mean, yeah, Judge leads in a lot more categories. That's what it comes down to. Like, Judge winning a batting title and hitting 50 home runs to me is more impressive than Cal Raleigh's 60 home runs. Touchdowns are the least important. Oh, wait, hold on. Mahomes was stretching the field more. From what I'm seeing, Drew Brees had like 800 less air yards, 8.8 air yards per attempt for Mahomes compared to 6.6 for Brees. He had a wide receiver running 25 miles per hour that's not reading the defense. I mean, it is. You see, like, if it was that simple, Goated, Tyreek Hill would be the greatest wide receiver of all time. You know, they knew how to use a guy like that. You know, there's plenty of wide receivers that were that fast. Like, look at, what's his face? Darius Hayward-Bay is the perfect example of that. You know, a guy who's a fucking lightning quick individual that never made it because for some reason or another. You know, being able to run 25 miles an hour is great. If you can't get open, it doesn't matter. Goated, I think you're trying to move the goalposts way too much for your argument. I don't think it works because if you're going to start breaking things down as analytical as possible just to make your point, then I don't think you have a point. It's very specific stats that it would be like, people would be like, what the hell, what are we talking about here? And I respect your argument. I respect you coming here with facts and having all this. Being fast doesn't mean shit unless you can't read the defense while at it. Exactly. If running 25 miles an hour was all you needed to do, Usain Bolt would be in the NFL. Well, probably not, actually. I think Usain Bolt's probably better off. I feel like Mahomes had a better team. Mahomes had a team better fit for his skill set. Yeah, I agree. Listen, I'm not trying to downplay Drew Brees. I think Drew Brees had a very good year in 2018, but Patrick Mahomes is out of this world insane. Throwing 50 touchdowns is crazy. Well, following the catch speed is the only thing that matters. Again, like, I don't think it totally matters because you need a good scheme. You need somebody who read the defense to get him the ball in a place that he can use his speed. Like, if all that matters was the fastest guy, you know, guys, they would just find the fastest guys at the combine and put them out there and go, all right, there you go. The fastest guys at the combine will be the number one picks every year. That's just not how it works, though. Speed is a big thing. Don't get me wrong. Speed is huge. But it's not like the ultimate. It's not the end-all, be-all. I think Tyreek Hill was in a system with the Chiefs that worked very well for him. He was in a system with the Dolphins that worked very well for him. You know, a lot of movement in the offense. When you can get the defense's eyes moving all over the place, and then you got a guy that runs that fast, you know, a split second where you make a decision to move one way or another, you know, because pre-catch, other things matter. Following the completion speed is what matters. That's what I'm trying to say. Wait, what? Well, fair, goated, but still, like, you just throwing the ball to Tyreek Hill every play, and he gets tackled behind the line of scrimmage, like, the play has to be set up for him to succeed. Like, I get what you're saying. Tyreek Hill's a great wide receiver. But again, if your argument is, oh, but he had Tyreek Hill, you don't have a good argument here. There's a reason Mahomes' numbers have split in half since Tyreek left. That's what I'm saying. I agree. Listen, I agree. I'm not saying Patrick Mahomes has been better since Tyreek left. He lost the best receiver in football. Yeah. Dude, that's like, that's a crazy thing. Look at, yeah. Mahomes lost Tyreek Hill. He lost his best receiver he ever had. Of course his numbers are going to go down. Like, what are we doing here? Yeah, dude, look at Mahomes since he lost Tyreek Hill. You mean the guy who was the best offensive threat he had? That's goated. That's just an awful argument. I'm sorry. Like, that just doesn't work. His numbers taking that much of a hit is fucking insane. It is and it isn't. I mean, look at everything he's lost on that offense. You know, Travis Kelce's like 36 years old now. He doesn't have that. You know, he lost Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill was one of the best wide receivers in football. He still had the best tight end, arguably, in history. I agree. Listen, Travis Kelce was great for a bunch of years. Yeah, they replaced Tyreek with Juju Smith-Schuster, and they had to change their offensive style completely. They can't throw deep with Juju. Exactly. A lot of things changed. You know, when you have great teams like that, they tend to fall apart because of the salary cap. You tend to have to make decisions because you have to pay certain guys you can't pay others. I agree with you. Patrick Mahomes has definitely taken steps back since he lost Tyreek Hill. But so would anybody if they lost their best receiver. Like, it's a tough argument to make. Well, clearly Tyreek was where the impact was and not Mahomes. And he's also gotten worse as a player, too. If Tyreek was the impact, then why weren't the Dolphins like the fucking Showtime Rams? What's the argument there, Goated? Like, why weren't they the greatest show on turf? Then they got Xavier Worthy and their deep passing game started opening up again. And he's barely played. Been hurt for the most part. Because Tua is shit and the Dolphins defense is awful. What does the Dolphins defense have to do with anything? What does the Dolphins defense have to do with what Tyreek Hill's doing? But exactly, because Tua is not it. I think you could make the argument that Patrick Mahomes made Tyreek Hill more so than Tyreek Hill made Patrick Mahomes. Really only been hurt for 2 games in his career. I meant this year. He hasn't been out there much. I just have him on my fantasy team. Because that's why the Dolphins sucked. I'm talking about their offense. I said, why was their offense like the greatest show on turf? They had a shitty defense and Tua is dog shit. Again, offensively. I'm talking about the Dolphins offensively. Because Tua is shit. Okay, so now you're admitting that Tyreek Hill doesn't make that big of an impact. Am I wrong? The offense sucked because Tua was dog shit and their offensive line didn't give any help. Mahomes made Tyreek. I agree. And listen, I think they needed each other as much as anything. I'm not saying it wasn't a two-way street. I never said Mahomes was shit. I see what you mean, Goated. But, like, I think you're highly overestimating how much Tyreek Hill, he was good from 2017 to 2022. If Tyreek was the impact, then Tua being shit wouldn't matter. Exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. It wouldn't matter if Tua was shit. They would find a way to get Tyreek the ball. He just wasn't the MVP. Goated, I don't think you've given me one argument to agree with you there. Again, when you start jumping into analytics that, like, really try to dissect things that don't add up, that don't, like, you know, Patrick Mahomes threw 50 touchdowns, more yards. I don't think there's even an argument after that. I get it. Maybe Drew Brees had a higher completion percentage. Fair. Maybe Tyreek Hill was running yards after the catch. I get it. It's part of football. It's a normal thing in football. If you're going to dissect the stats that much, then you're probably not making a good enough case. Clearly, Tyreek wasn't where the impact was because the Chiefs have made 3 Super Bowls back-to-backs. And yeah, exactly, that too. The Chiefs keep going back to the Super Bowl. Why do the Chiefs keep going back to the Super Bowl? They clearly don't miss Tyreek that much. And listen, I get it. Tyreek Hill was an elite wide receiver all those years. I'm not trying to downplay how good Tyreek Hill was. I don't want to do that. I don't want to sound like I'm downplaying him at all. A shit quarterback couldn't do anything if they had prime Jerry Rice. You're right. But you're also saying, like, I think, like, you're overstating the impact of Tyreek Hill is all I'm saying. Chiefs made it to the Super Bowl in spite of Mahomes last year. If you say otherwise, you're straight gobbling his dick. I think the Chiefs' defense was really good last year. Hold on. Oh, boy. Here we go. Wait, shit. I'm trying to look at something. Chiefs are the number 1 ranked defense in the NFL. That's what made the Super Bowl. They did. They did have the best defense in the league. They had a great defense last year. I'm just saying. Tyreek Hill's not there. Still go to the Super Bowl. I do get what you're saying. The defense definitely were a bigger impact. If the refs weren't paid in 2022 and 2023, he ain't winning, especially 2022. Yeah, there's some shit that went on there. I'll agree with you there. Again, I just think 50 touchdowns, far more passing yards. I don't think we need to dive into that any deeper. But Chiefs' offense was clearly nothing without Hill. They scored over 30 once in the final week. Fuck. Hold on. Shit. The fuck just happened? No, look, Goated. I'm not trying to downplay the impact Tyreek Hill had. I just think, like, Mahomes also don't forget to mention that Travis Kelce's also like a fucking fossil now. He's like 36. What? 36. What the fuck is this? Oh, I was that in my pocket. I'm not really sure why I even had that, but look, I agree that Patrick Mahomes took a step back when they lost Tyreek Hill, but that doesn't mean he wasn't the MVP in 2018. I think, like, I'm not trying to argue against Patrick Mahomes not being what he. Mahomes was about as impactful as Trent Dilfer in terms of their Super Bowl run that last year. Okay, that's a little nuts. I don't think that adds up. Patrick Mahomes was what? I think he was like 6th or 7th in passing yards a year ago. I don't think he's Trent Dilfer-like, but I feel like you just hate Patrick Mahomes at this point. I get it. I think he's a little bit overrated now. I'm with you on that, but, like, I think you're just kind of like, I think you're drinking the Kool-Aid of Patrick Mahomes being bad a little bit. Mahomes put up worse stats than Rodgers last year. I do hate Mahomes. I could tell. Let's see. Mahomes put up worse stats than Rodgers last year. Yeah, he did. He threw for 2 less touchdowns. So wait, hold on. Goated, are you now saying that throwing for more touchdowns is better? Is that the argument there? Why were Aaron Rodgers' stats better, please? Goated, why were Aaron Rodgers' stats better? Now, there's no sports player in history I hate more than Mahomes. It makes sense. You've been like... But what I'm asking, Goated, is why did Aaron Rodgers have a better year a year ago? Is it because he threw for more touchdown passes? Why were his stats better? Why? Please, enlighten me. Angelo loves me, hated Mahomes, no D, back to sleep. Joe, have a good night's sleep. I'm going to go to sleep in a little bit too. But please tell me why Patrick Mahomes had a better year Aaron Rodgers had a better year last year. Because I do agree with you. I'm not even arguing. I'm just wondering why you say that. Floor is yours. Tell me why Aaron Rodgers had a better year. Because he threw for more touchdowns? Did I just mic drop it? Because now you're making our argument. Let's see. Let's look into the efficiency. No. Jets? Go to. I'm waiting. What? Let's see. The only thing Rodgers was better in was touchdown passes. Rodgers literally put up the same yards, 20 less than Mahomes. I agree, and he threw 2 more touchdowns. Okay, so... And you're saying Rodgers had the better year because of the more touchdowns, right? So, then the year Mahomes threw for like, what, almost 1,800 more, what was it? He threw 18 more touchdowns and threw for over 1,000 more yards. I never said TDs don't matter. I'm just saying they matter less when yards are even look to TDs. Okay, but what about when the yards aren't even? Hold on, go to now you're completely missing the point because Mahomes had far more yards than Drew Brees too. See where I'm going with this? It's just the argument's kind of unraveling. Less interceptions too, probably. He did. Listen. I'm with you that I think Aaron Rodgers had a better statistical year a year ago. I'm not even arguing with you there. They had the same number? I didn't even know that. Well, also think about it. Rodgers, because of Hill. No, see, you can't have it every single way. I've proven that Hill made the impact, and you're just ignoring. I'm not ignoring it at all, Goated. I'm not. I literally said to you, the offense clearly took a step back in terms of statistics when Tyreek Hill left. When you lose your best wide receiver, of course you're not going to have as good of you're not going to throw for as many yards. I'm with you on that. I never argued that. But you just proved every point where you're like, Rodgers had a better year. He threw for more touchdowns, same amount of yards. Like which is it? Are we going to dissect it or are we going to you can't have it both ways is all I'm saying. I'm with you that of course, I'm 100% with you that Tyreek Hill made an impact on that offense. I never said he didn't. I'm just saying you can't look at that and be like, oh, well, he had Tyreek Hill. That's why he threw for over 1,000 more yards than somebody else. That's why he shouldn't win the MVP. That's when it starts getting ridiculous. Statistically, he was so far and beyond better than everybody else. All I'm saying is when you say, he had a better year, I ask why. Same yards, more touch, whatever. It is what it is. I agree with you that Tyreek Hill made an impact. I'm not saying he didn't. But, again, there's a lot that goes into that. There's a lot that goes into, at the end of the day, he's got to get the ball thrown to him by somebody. Fucking hey. Eyes are killing me. Hold on a minute. Just got to shut the camera off for a second. I got to stand up. Oh, yeah, Gordon, I'm with you. I don't think either one of them were that good. I don't think Mahomes had that great of a year last year. My point was Mahomes is basically a league average quarterback since 2023. I don't disagree with you. I don't think Mahomes is up there in terms of the bet. when you're having the best quarterback in the NFL discussion, I don't think Patrick Mahomes should be in it. I'll agree with you on that 100%. I would not argue that point with you. Oh, man. It's laid on my neck funny. Why did you stop play money gambling? I do it once in a while, Nathan. I don't know. I get a lot of viewers when I do that. I just like only when I'm fucking around and I feel like doing something other than just talking. That usually I do those streams, Nathan, when my voice is killing me, like because I try not to have as loud of a conversation. But I'll still fuck around with it. It's fun, Nathan. Those games are fine as long as like you don't play for real money. Like don't ever play anything for real money online. It's like it's such a fucking scam, the whole thing. I hate Mahomes mostly because he gets extremely overhyped. The idea of people even put him in the GOAT conversation gets me on the ground fucking laughing. Not to mention I'll bet my life the Chiefs have cheated and gotten calls rigged for them. I get that. I think those first couple years of Patrick Mahomes, I don't know if anybody played the quarterback position better. I think there were times where you look at Patrick Mahomes' skill set and you're like, this guy has all the tools to be the greatest quarterback of all time. But he's proven in the last couple years that he's taken a step back, and it's not the same Patrick Mahomes. And there's a lot of things you can do with that, but I'm with you that I think putting him in the GOAT discussion already, I looked at it when he was going to Super Bowls, when he was winning MVPs. I kept looking at it as this guy has so much talent and does so many things so well that he's got all the tools to do it. I don't think he's in that conversation anymore. Like, I think in terms of talent. You ever seen those fucking fake scam ads about playing card game apps for money? And they say you can win tons of money off of it? Yeah, dude, like, yeah, the ones that PayPal you, the number, like, it comes up like you get paid in PayPal. That shit's the biggest scam ever. Mahomes had three. Yeah, I'm with you on that, Goated. I agree with you. I don't think Mahomes is in the conversation. But yeah, Derek, that shit's ridiculous. Like, the stupid ad, like, they have the worst advertisements and shit. That shit annoys the fuck out of me. Dude, the biggest sham is, I've been saying it. I've been watching this guy a lot recently just because, like, it's fun to watch and it really gives you a sense of, like, how much money you could lose when you go to, like, a casino. But I've been watching this guy Bretsky a lot who, like, I think he's super fucking entertaining. And he just goes to casinos, like, and plays slot machines and loses, like, an incredible amount of money. Like, I'm sure he's getting paid back by YouTube and shit or whatever company that funds him. That's just the way these big-time content creators that do these gambling streams are just getting paid by the gambling companies. It's like it's such a fucking ripoff. Mahomes is in the top 15 quarterback of all time. It's so fucking dumb. I don't know about that. Goated lost me on that take. Which one? Which one, Nathan? Because I think he lost me on the... Phillip Rivers was great. I don't know. I'm not going to argue against Phillip Rivers ever. Getting paid to be shit at gambling, what a life. Dude, Goated, this guy... So, the guy Bretsky, I'll explain to you. He literally, if you haven't heard of him, he literally works for a company called SpinQuest, which all they do, it's like basically an online casino. And all he does is he goes out and he plays all these slot machines and shit. And when you watch him play, you're like, damn, I really want to go play a fucking slot machine. Like, for me, it doesn't make me want to do it because I see how much money the guy's losing. And I think it's actually kind of a good thing to watch somebody like that who, like, just loses and loses and, like, but then, like, he's always, like, in the casino. He's like, I got, like, $3,000 today. Let's see what I can do. And it's like, clearly he's getting funded by somebody because a lot of people probably watch his videos and are like, you know what? I really want to go to the casino tonight. Like, it's all a fucking scam. All these people that, like, play casino games, that play them online, the only thing they want to do is get you to go. If a YouTuber is doing a gambling stream, isn't that still against YouTube rules? How does someone get away with that? So it's not a stream, Derek. He's not streaming it. He literally makes videos. Like, he does, like, VODs and stuff. Like, he films himself. It is kind of shocking, but I think the reason he can get away with it because he's in a casino where it's legal. As long as it's legal gambling, gambling online, in any form in the United States is illegal. Because you need, like, a VPN and stuff. Except in some states it's not. I think it's like the gambling apps like FanDuel and DraftKings and stuff. There's a reason why you could do streams and talk about betting on sports. I think the reason he gets away with it is because he's doing it in a casino, and he's sitting in a casino, and like it's a what do you call it? And I think also because he's filming his losses too. You when you do a gambling stream, Derek, if you do it on YouTube, and I've learned this from like not I never gambled actually. Well, actually I did one time. I did a live stream where I was in a casino. When you do those streams, the problem is if people are just posting their wins, that's when YouTube jumps on them. That's when YouTube's like, okay, like you can't be posting wins because it's making addictive tendencies and it's making people think like, hey, you know, this guy only wins. When you put everything on there, when a guy like Bretsky puts every single thing as wins and losses and can say, you know, hey, like don't gamble. When it becomes like they look at it as more so I forget. It's a whole thing. I remember reading about it, but like as long as you're not just posting all your wins and you're making gambling seem like a great thing, then that's what it comes down to. I live in San Diego. I know all too well about shot putting throw motion of Rivers. Dude, Rivers, Antonio Gates, greater than Mahomes, Kelsey. I don't think that's true at all. Gambling, very risky. You want to go gambling, Plunger Man? Listen, there's nothing more fun than going on like a boys trip and going to a casino or something, or just going to the casino and fucking around. I enjoy the fuck out of it. It's a great time. But did you just put Sammy Watkins in that category, Cody? Come on. Come on, now you're reaching. Now you're really fucking reaching, putting cheap Sammy Watkins in there. Just mentioning here to go sleeping. All right. Nothing more fun. Like, as long as you can stay within yourself, as long as you can stay within your limits, that's the thing. But Derek, there's like, on YouTube, you can't stream gambling. I just said he was good, and he was. He was okay. He was very okay, but like, you forget like Vincent Jackson. You said not to mention Mahomes had Prime, Hill, and Kelsey pretty even. Hill and Kelsey, Vincent Jackson, Antonio Gates. I guess Prime Sammy Watkins was a problem. Yeah, when he was in Buffalo. He was not the same problem in Kansas City. But anyway, you said you'll put me to bed. I'm trying to put you to bed, Plunger Man. All I want to do is, I'm trying to do ASMR to put you guys to sleep. But anyway, back to the gambling stuff. It's like, it really irks me because, like, it's clearly just all these companies are playing at people's addictions, and they're playing at, like, you know, they're trying to get people to watch these guys playing slot machines, and it makes you just go, hey, like I could see somebody having a problem going, I want to go play slots. I want to go to the slot machines. Like, gonna gamble in my dream sounds like a great dream. But let me tell you, it is a slippery slope. I've seen many of people go down that slope of gambling and losing a lot of money and, like, really ruining a lot of things because, you know, they think, oh, I could win it back. It's a terrible thing. It's a fun hobby if you can go. If you can walk into a casino knowing you're going to lose money and being okay with that, that's a great thing. If you're going there thinking you're going to make money and get rich, you are not going there for the right reason. It's supposed to be a little thrill-seeking mission. And there's nothing worse. When you go to like a casino and you see somebody who's like a regular, you see like the person who's sitting there and they're like, when they do win, it's not really that big of a deal. Like, I remember one time I saw a guy. This was the worst thing I've ever seen in a casino. This guy was sitting next to me at a roulette table, right? And he hit one of his numbers. He had like hundreds of dollars. Like, he had like $100 on like 6 numbers or something like that, right? And I told the story. If you go to my bio and look at the Hard Rock Casino story, you know, I told the story in there. This isn't the same story. I see somebody that, like, he's playing roulette and he won like $3,800, right? And I'm sitting there celebrating for the guy. I'm like, dude, fuck yeah, let's go. And dude, he didn't even bat an eyelash. He was like just sitting there, like, cold look, like all right, like, I can't imagine how much money that guy lost that day. I've seen people, I saw some woman lose like $5,000 in front of me, right in front of me, playing roulette. I do like $25 a spin, and if I lose 2 in a row, I leave and go get a drink. Like, I'll go drink. Like, my stepmom was addicted to gambling, diamond member at the local casino. That's always the worst. Like, when people have the player's card, like, here's the thing. When you do go to a casino, the smartest thing you could do, Nathan, is get the player's card. I'm sure you're old enough to know. Get the player's card and use it, because then you get all sorts of, like, the next time you want to go, you can go for free. You can stay at a hotel for free. It's worth, like, the rewards points. But when somebody is like a diamond or gold member at a casino, that is never a good thing. That's a bad sign. That means you are spending enough money in that casino that they're like, oh, they upgrade you to give you more points because they just want you coming back more often. It's never like a flex to be like, hey, I got bumped up on my fucking membership. I pretty much every casino I go to, you got to get it. I ain't never going to gamble outside sports betting for real. I get way too addicted real quick on the pure chance. Yeah, go to sports betting's the best way if you're going to gamble on things, because you at least can look things up and have a sense of what's going on. But the casino, listen, I wouldn't say casinos are fun. Like, they're definitely a good time, but you got to be able to, you got to be able to handle yourself. You got to be able to walk in there and know nothing good's going to come of this. She won a small lottery over $1 million 4 years later. She ended up losing her house, and she lives in a hotel now. Jesus Christ, dude. That's horrible, man. That's a horrible story. People that have it all like that, sports betting isn't 100% luck, slots are. I agree. Yeah. No, you're right on that. But Goated, I will tell you with sports betting, if I were you, because you're too young to bet on sports right now, at least, like, start watching games, like, watch games now, look at spreads of stuff, and, like, see what you would pick based on the spread, because you're going to realize really quickly you don't know as much about sports as you think you do. Like, it's a rude awakening. You think, like, oh, wow, I'm this big sports fan. Once you start betting on sports, you realize, man, I don't know as much as I think I do. Like, especially when it comes to spreads, over-unders and shit. It's not easy. There's a reason Vegas is still in fucking business. There's a reason these sports books make so much money every year. Because people have not figured it out yet. I would at least, like, look, I don't know if you do it already, but, like, I'd look at, like, NFL spreads. A deli near me, they have bomb-ass sandwiches. Won the lottery in 1995, went broke and out of business. Owner won the lottery again, and they reopened, and they're absolutely fire. That's crazy. Dude, one of the security guards at my high school won the lottery twice. Won like, the fucking Mega Millions jackpot here in New York. Twice. Fucking insane. Must be nice. I don't play lottery or stuff like that. I don't do scratch-offs, anything like that. That shit sucks. I have a good track record with Prize Picks, for real. That's good. Prize Picks is a scam, though, Goated. They don't give you good enough lines. If you look on, like, DraftKings or FanDuel or all those things, Prize Picks really fucking rips you off with their lines. Like, I remember seeing somebody, I think it was, like, Trent. Like, I think that guy Trent is, like, a Prize Pick booking with Trent or whatever. He put in a parlay of something, like 4 things. It was, like, $100 to win, like, I forget. It was, like, 1,000. It was, like, 100 to win 1,000. Somebody looked it up on DraftKings, the same bet. It was 100 to win. It should have been like 100 to win like $4,500. They won like 100 million in 1995 and somehow went broke and then won again. Some people can't handle that much money, man. Some people get that much money and think they're invincible. That's a problem. Like, if you ever win money like that, do yourself a favor, invest it, find a way to make your money grow. I would say that with any amount of money you make. Just DM Michael Porter Jr. To be fair, you could. But, yeah, guys, you know what? I'm going to hop off for the night. I am tired. I'm going to have another video for you guys tomorrow. Be sure to go check out the one I made today. It's a pretty good story about how I went to the Hard Rock Casino in Miami and got, like, I felt like I was a complete fish out of water. I felt like I was the poorest guy on the planet when I went there. It's a good story. It's a funny story. I'll have another one for you guys tomorrow. Anybody have any ideas what I could talk about? Like, I'm thinking about telling the story about the first time I went to Nashville. Or maybe, I don't know. I'm trying to think of something else. Maybe my experience in Texas at a Longhorns game. Could talk about that. There's a bunch of things I could talk about. But I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.